I never thought my wedding would tear my family apart, but here I am, 3 weeks after what should have been the happiest day of my life, still getting nasty texts and cold shoulders from relatives who think I'm the villain in this story. Let me explain. My fiancé James and I had been together for 6 years before we got engaged. We both come from large families. I have 4 siblings. He has 3, plus dozens of aunts, uncles, and cousins on both sides. We're also the first in either family to have a big wedding. Everyone else either eloped or had modest ceremonies. We always dreamed of a luxury wedding, the kind with a high-end venue, gourmet food, top-shelf open bar, and all the elegant touches. But here's the thing. We refused to go into debt for a single day, no matter how special. We had saved $30,000, which sounds like a lot until you start pricing venues and catering for 200-plus guests. After crunching the numbers, we realized we had 2 options. Drastically cut our guest list to about 50 people, impossible without causing family drama, or find another source of funding. That's when I came up with the idea of charging admission. I know how that sounds, but weddings aren't cheap for guests either. They buy gifts, new outfits, sometimes travel and book hotels. We decided to be upfront. Instead of gifts, we'd charge $100 per person for the basic experience, which included ceremony attendance, reception dinner, and dancing. For those who wanted to splurge, we offered a $300 VIP package that included premium seating at both the ceremony and reception, access to a private lounge with specialty cocktails, and a swag bag of luxury items. We even created a $500 platinum experience that included a private meet and greet with us before the ceremony and a guaranteed seat at our table during part of the reception. I designed a beautiful digital invitation explaining the concept, emphasizing that this approach would allow us to invite everyone without going into debt, while also giving guests options based on their budget and interest level. The reactions were mixed. Many friends thought it was innovative, even brilliant. Several colleagues immediately signed up for VIP packages. My college roommates even joked about pooling for the platinum experience. My family, however, was horrified. My mother called within minutes of receiving the invitation. "Tell me this is a joke," she said, her voice ice cold. When I explained our reasoning, she scoffed. "You've lost your mind if you think I'm paying to attend my own daughter's wedding." My siblings were equally outraged. My oldest brother wrote a scathing email about how I'd commodified a sacred family event. My sister posted a rant on Facebook about entitled brides. My youngest brother just sent a laughing emoji followed by no thanks. James's family wasn't much better. His parents called us tasteless and said they'd rather we elope than charge admission like it's a carnival. I tried explaining that the average guest spends $120 on a wedding gift anyway, so we were just redirecting that expense toward creating an unforgettable experience. But nobody wanted to hear it. Then came the demands for exceptions. "Surely you don't expect your own mother to pay," my mom said during a tense phone call. "Family should be free," insisted my aunt. "At least give us the family discount," my cousin texted. We stood firm. The whole point was to create a sustainable budget that allowed us to invite everyone. Making exceptions would defeat the purpose and create a slippery slope. If mom doesn't pay, why should dad? If siblings are free, what about nieces and nephews? First cousins versus second cousins. As RSVPs trickled in, it became clear that most of our family was boycotting. Out of 75 relatives invited, only 10 paid, all cousins close to our age who understood our perspective. James's side was similar, with just his brother and a few cousins joining. We were hurt but proceeded with planning. Without the burden of accommodating judgmental relatives, we were able to go all out. We booked a celebrity chef who had recently appeared on a popular cooking show. We hired an award-winning photographer. We splurged on rare flowers and custom cocktails. Word got around. Instagram posts from our vendors hinted at the extraordinary event taking shape. Suddenly, my phone started buzzing with texts from the very same family members who had declined. I might be able to make it after all. I misunderstood the concept. It actually sounds lovely. Can I still get tickets to your wedding? Each message made my blood boil. They'd called me greedy, tasteless, and offensive, but now wanted in on the experience they'd mocked. My mother even called to say she'd forgive me for the fee arrangement if I'd save 5 seats for her, my dad, and my 3 youngest cousins. I refused. every single request. The RSVP deadline had passed, vendors were confirmed, and seating charts finalized. More importantly, I wasn't about to reward their behavior after weeks of insults and judgment. The wedding was everything we dreamed of. With 110 guests instead of 200 plus, the venue felt exclusive rather than crowded. The food was extraordinary, the drinks flowed freely, and everyone raved about the experience. Many guests told us it was the best wedding they'd ever attended. Photos and videos appeared on social media. My cousin Ella, who had enthusiastically purchased a VIP package, posted a series of pictures showcasing the gourmet food stations, custom cocktails, and luxury swag bags. Her caption read, "Best $300 I ever spent." This wasn't just a wedding. It was the event of the year. The backlash from boycotting family members was swift and fierce. My mother called me in tears, saying I had deliberately excluded them from a once-in-a-lifetime experience. My uncle accused me of flaunting my extravagance to punish them. My sister said I had ruined the family dynamic for years to come, over a stupid party. James's family was similarly upset, with his mother refusing to look at our professional photos because it was too painful to see what she missed. Now, 3 weeks later, the family tension shows no signs of easing. At Sunday dinner, which I attended alone because most relatives aren't speaking to James, my dad pulled me aside and said I should apologize for dividing the family with my unconventional choices. But I don't think I did anything wrong. We created a solution that allowed us to have our dream wedding without debt. We were transparent about the costs. We treated everyone equally rather than playing favorites. And most importantly, we didn't cave to emotional manipulation. So Reddit, AITA, for charging an entry fee to my wedding and refusing to waive it for family who initially boycotted. Update. It's been 6 months since my original post, and I wanted to share how things have developed. First, thank you all for your perspectives. Even the critical ones gave me food for thought. The family tension has gradually eased, though things aren't fully healed. The turning point came when my cousin Ella, who attended as VIP, hosted a family gathering and showed everyone her wedding photos and videos. Seeing the event through her eyes, how much fun everyone had, how special the experience was, changed some perspectives. My mother finally admitted that, while she still found the concept unusual, she could see we had created something unique and meaningful. She acknowledged that her pride had prevented her from supporting our vision. James's parents took longer to come around, but after we shared our wedding video with them in a private dinner, his mother broke down and said she regretted missing her son's special day over a matter of principle that doesn't seem so important now. We've learned a lot from this experience. While I still believe our approach was valid, I understand now that weddings carry emotional weight beyond logic or finances. For many family members, being asked to pay felt like being told they weren't important enough to include for free, regardless of our reasoning. If I could do it again, I might have approached it differently, perhaps by having a small traditional ceremony for family followed by the ticketed reception. But I don't regret creating boundaries and sticking to them. The silver lining is that this controversy has sparked many honest conversations within our family about expectations, traditions, and respect for others' choices. And oddly enough, 2 of my cousins are now considering variations of our approach for their own weddings, though they're quick to add they'll be creating family exceptions. As for James and me, we're happy with the memory of our perfect day, and even happier that we started our marriage without wedding debt. Sometimes standing your ground comes at a temporary cost to relationships, but it can also reveal who truly respects your autonomy and choices.